Was I a dark horse candidate, or I'm sorry, I was
The
kind of lost
question
there.
was, what's your motivation for running for president?
Thank you. Yes. Quite honestly, I see myself having a different
Mhm.
vision than T Soups. We agree on quite a bit of domestic policy, you know, just with how the Defense Department should be ran to how Homeland should be ran. We just have different domestic policy differences. Um, and I'm just offering a chance for folks, in the community who feel as if, they've been ignored or manipulated or lied to by this administration, just a different option. This election doesn't have to be just a one candidate election, you know. But I also believe that I can bring an optimistic vision to NUSA. It's just it's honestly, Blue. It's just too many scandals. It's too
Too
many
many
scandals. Too
scandals.
much chaos every day. With this administration. And I believe actually that we could be more stable under a Corman presidency.
Okay, so to deep diver into that, you don't think T Soups or Trey NATO will provide a stable presidency for NUSA?
I didn't say that. I just said we just have different visions about achieving what we're promising. We have different visions
Okay.
about how to govern and how to lead. So if they say that the plan is to do X, Y, and Z to get NUSA active, that's the plan. But I know my plan is pretty comprehensive, and it's pretty straightforward. We're gonna get away from this Discord dependency, I guess you could say, or I want to say third party dependency. Just get back to the game. Get back to
The game.
roots. Uh, expand. Making sure that new players who join the game, or the community, has a space and that they know where tryouts are being held at.
Your
Uh,
presidency
and
will
just
have a focus on being more in game.
it's definitely focused. It's definitely going to be focused on including everyone, including the
Yeah.
new guy who just joined the group. They don't know what Nusa is, but including them, and of course being in the game, more often, but definitely more Roblox dependent than what we are now.
Roblox. Okay.
That's the
Well, I mean, critics of
president.
yours have suggested that, prior to this election, you were extremely inactive and that you only show up for election season. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's funny, they, those same critics are the same folks that said I wasn't that I was a quote unquote inactive senator.
It's not
If
true
I
then.
if I've just disappeared, out of and came back into thin air, then what was I doing August 19th when I got removed from the Senate? Did I just magically just disappear and reappear then too? So it doesn't really make sense what they're saying, honestly.
Hmm.
It's just
Okay.
just something to catch on. Uh,
Well, I mean, of course, it
I
is something
as
to
a citizen,
catch on. I'm asking,
what
is it true?
I'm sorry.
Is it
What
true
is true?
that
What do you
you've
mean?
been
What is true?
inactive and that you're coming back for election season? Is that not true?
No, it's objectively not true. Actually, let me say,
Okay.
I ran for president back in February and March. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
after I dropped out that time, I took a couple weeks, most certainly, just to focus on school, and then I came back and just was just as a private citizen. I don't got to be in no kind of office to run for office. But I do have experience. I do have a resume. Most certainly, I've served in Congress multiple terms. I've served as Secretary of Commerce and Labor. I've served as Deputy Secretary of State. I've served in various positions throughout my time here in NUSA,
Okay.
most certainly. But
All right.
but
Yeah.
but but I've been here. I haven't left NUSA at all. Like I said, I went for Senate as well, so not quite
All right.
sure what they're saying here. But those
Okay.
just that's just the critics stuff. Like
And well, yeah. When can we expect to learn more about your campaign policy? Your team states that they've got a huge platform that's in the works, but we haven't seen any of it. Where is it? Is it still in the works? Is it no longer in the works?
no, quite honestly, no. It's quite polished. Quite honestly, we just been trying to find the right time. with me having to switch up, a new VP, I had essentially maybe 72, 48 hours to find a whole new running mate. So that was kind of the focus these last few days was finding a new VP, somebody that I can trust. But no, the platform is finished. Honestly, we're just waiting for a good time and day. We're thinking about doing it Monday, quite honestly. It's gonna include my defense, foreign, commerce, labor, homeland policy, uh, some plans I plan on doing as well
Okay.
in the White
And when can
House.
we expect
Uh,
that?
you say when?
Yeah, when can we expect that? That was the question. When can we
Well,
expect it?
as I said, we're looking at Monday. But no, but yeah, I mean, if you want
Monday.
to ask me anything about policy, well, certainly go ahead. Go ahead, ask me anything about policy. I'm definitely here to answer that.
Oh yes, yes. We'll get back to that here. We have some more questions. Okay, so by Monday we will expect your policy, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
All
on
right.
Monday. Yes,
On Monday.
yes, you can
Okay.
hold me accountable. You can report that in the news.
All right.
Most so.
So you ran for president in March and had a relatively large voter base, but then you proceeded to merge with Adam Stratton's campaign just towards the close of that election. Why did you drop out? I mean, you talked about it here. You dropped out in terms of activity. You dropped out,
Yeah, most
and more
certainly.
importantly, can you reassure both supporters you weren't wasting their time and effort?
Yeah, no, I've already told my supporters. I told them today, I'm not dropping out. We're going. I'm sorry, we're not dropping out. Okay, I didn't drop out after the primaries either. Okay, but we're not dropping out. I'm not disappointing them again like I did back in March. That was a big. I think that was the biggest mistake I've had of that campaign season. Was letting them down.
So
But
dropping
thank
out was
God.
was a mistake. Is that what you're saying?
But thank God though, no, a lot of my supporters back then still support me today. A lot of them came back even more now, than last time. We're not really focused on Discord numbers now. My campaign found that to be kind of just pointless. This election is so close. And we're just gonna campaign when it actually matters, and that's on election days. Um, but you had a second question there. The first question was oh
Well, I
was
kind of want to
was-
circle
but,
back
but,
there
but you
because you
asked
didn't.
why I asked you. I think you asked
Yeah,
why as well.
I asked why did you drop out? Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yep. Like I was gonna say, I dropped off for a couple of reasons. Honestly, I was still in school as a junior, and I just had a new job, and so when I learned that my VP, dropped out, and Adam took half of my staff with him because they're friends with Adam. Uh, that's
Mm-hmm.
when I was kind of like, I need to focus on real life. So that was just pretty much it. Um, and that, like I said, that was a big mistake. I let a lot of my supporters down. But this time, no, we're going to the ballot box. You're gonna see my name there,
Okay.
most
Yeah.
certainly.
All right. And so how are you able to reassure your voters you aren't wasting their time? How do we know you're not going to drop out a second time?
Well, I just, as I said, I told them I'm not going to. They believe me. They're gonna be with me. They're still with me. They really do not like this administration. Okay, and so
Interesting.
my
Interesting.
supporters, they're very loyal people. Okay, my supporters are very loyal, and I appreciate that.
Right. Okay. So I mean, to build on to that, I mean, what particular policies or decisions by the current administration would you do differently?
Yeah, for sure. So I couldn't get really into it during the debate, but one thing I would do differently is definitely get rid of the NELA. I plan on giving departments and cabinet secretaries the power and responsibility to have their own inspector general, I guess you could say, their own council of that kind of sort, wherever they wish to do it. But and this is going to be key, they report directly to the White House, directly to the White House. They don't report to that cabinet or director, not at all. They can appoint that person, they can nominate whoever, whatever, but they report to the White House. Just because it's just much more easier process when it comes to getting somebody back their job if they were fired, for whatever reason. or that sort. Uh, Another policy I would do differently, actually. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So that's one of the policies you do differently with the current
Yes,
administration, right? Okay.
yes.
So,
Yeah, so continuing on more into my labor policy now. I plan on working strongly against the idea of an at will employment, you know. I have a strong belief in this, Blue. I have a strong belief that if you're here
okay.
in this community and you've been, grinding out for 2, 3 months with this agency, this department, you know, you've been in this agency for 2, 3 months. When the next guy comes in, the next president, you know, a lot of people have the fear that they're gonna lose their job, and I want to eliminate that. Uh, when there's a new
Okay.
director, a new secretary, that doesn't mean you clean house. No, that person who grinded for 2, 3 months on the FBI team now just wasted all his time because he wasn't friends with the leadership. He wasn't friends with the new guys. That's unfair. That's at will employment, Blue. And
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of that.
So
Jobs are going to be protected under my administration,
that's
and we're not
something
going to
your
use
administration will focus on heavily.
most certainly. I have served as Secretary of Commerce and Labor. Okay. Uh, I'm very passionate about these things, And as I said during the
Hmm.
debate as well, another policy I plan on doing differently is creating subsidies, creating subsidies. These subsidies
Subsidies.
we can take out from the federal budget that we're given. About 40,000 Robux, if I'm correct. We can use some of that, give it to the Department of Commerce, which I plan on establishing under my administration as well. Give it to the Department of Commerce and have them outsource
All
different
right.
communities. Have them
Yes.
go
Yes.
out to different companies in Roblox and
Okay.
incentivize them to come to our game, bringing their people
Right. Right.
here and
Yeah.
increase private sector employment.
Okay. So looks like we have a question in the audience here from Wintertown. Bring them up. They can ask their question. Let's see.
For sure.
Hello.
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 I want to know what your plans are for the FBI.
For sure. I think the FBI has been doing pretty considerable work, pretty stable work. I haven't really seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Please do. Haven't really seen any photos or anything like that. I haven't really also seen them in DC either, Um, albeit, we could be at DC at different times too, Um, but on day one, I'm going to talk to the current leadership. I'm going to review their plans, see what they're doing, and honestly, if you're doing a good job, as I said during the debate, if you're doing a good job, why am I going to
And we
replace
do
you?
have
Like I
breaking
say,
news from the House session right
you've been
now.
grinding.
The House is
I'm sorry.
meeting right now. We have breaking news right now. The House is meeting on whether or not to censure you, Mr. Corman. They're
Oh,
regarding imported votes. So that's um,
I'm sorry.
if you'd like to comment on
Okay.
that on the import. Yeah.
um. Wow. um. I'll say this. Um. That's crazy. That's really crazy. We
I
spend
mean,
and
do you
waste
have a
our time.
response to Speaker Chen?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a response to Speaker Chen regarding the importation of votes, or really to the American people? Would you like to make a comment
Well,
on that?
yes. I'm responding to it now. I'm responding to it now.
Okay.
Um. One. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Not only has there been not been a single photo, no proof whatsoever that I even know these guys, okay? They're literally just a bunch of friends who just have this community that, hey, support this guy in Noosa. That's all it is. Mind you, here's the kicker. A lot of these folks are already in Noosa already. We're not telling them something new. It wasn't like we saw a huge spike in immigration. No, a lot of these guys are already Noosa. Like, we're just telling them, hey, when election comes, vote on this day. That's all we're asking. Okay. But I do want to say this. Where's those impeachment charges against the sitting president when she removed us on August 19th? Or better yet, actually,
Okay.
and this is more on topic, I guess I should have led with this.
Well, I just
Where is her
want you
censure?
to comment on
Well,
the importation of votes.
let me finish. Let me finish. Where is her
Okay.
censure? There's literal proof of her working with Ridgeway. there's a voice recording of it. I mean, where is her censure? It's just like I said, Arthur Chen is a very unserious person for me. I don't really take him serious. Like that's just what it is. I think I
Okay.
said that during the debate too.
All right. Yes, yes, yes. We did hear that. Um, my partner here, co-host Darwin Azo14, would like to ask you some questions here on behalf of the American Times.
Oh,
Hello,
okay.
hello.
So good night, Mr. Corman.
How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I have a few questions. Um, the first one is, what do you think about HR 5? Do you think it will be passed or
We
rejected?
talked about this earlier,
If it is
but
passed, what
yeah.
impact do you think it will have on Musa and USA?
Well, first and foremost, essentially what that act is doing is just making what one agency supreme. Okay, that's what it really is doing. Let's talk about it. It's making the Secret Service the only agency who protects anything. Okay, who is and that's dare I say that's a monopoly. That's a monopoly on protection jobs. Okay, on security jobs. Okay, they're wiping out other agencies to make this one just the supreme. And that's not really realistic at all, to be honest with you, at all. And that's really unfair for these other agencies who don't want to be a part of the Secret Service. They want to do FPS. Um, so no, I pray it does not pass. But knowing this Congress and what I was just told 3 minutes ago, it may pass. Okay, if they censor me about something that I never did, there's a strong possibility that this might pass. Okay, and I'll just say that.
Mr. Corman, the question was, what do you think about HR 5, not the censure in the House?
No, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I just answered in the last minute. I'm not quite sure. Do you want me to repeat it again for you? I just
Yes, please.
yeah.
Because
So
I was
as,
distracted.
as I said, knowing this house and knowing what you just told me 3 4 minutes ago about them censoring me.
Okay, I see. Yes.
Yeah, this is how I'm connecting the dots. You get me
Right.
now?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not quite sure what this Congress will do. They can do anything at this point. um, I'm not quite sure. I pray that it doesn't pass, but I'm not in Congress no more. I'm a private citizen. This is the government that the folks elected, and I hope they remember that. I hope they remember that at the ballot box. Okay.
I do wanna suppose build onto that. How do you intend to work with Congress and other agencies to get your agenda passed if you're gonna call out the speaker here? I mean, what's the plan for that? How do you plan to
Yeah. So
combat that?
um,
Uh,
no, for sure, for sure. That's a valid question, I think. It's a fair question. Simply put, I don't respect Arthur. I don't respect him as a player. Okay, you can report that. You can claim that what it is. I take him very unserious. Okay, so yes, I will go to representatives directly, individually. Matter of fact. Okay, and if Arthur's not willing to work with us, like he just announced, let me just set the foundation first. Okay, Arthur earlier today clearly stated that if I win, he's not going to work with me. Okay. All right. He's done that first. He made that first move. Okay.
Interesting.
If that is his attitude towards my administration and how I will govern if elected, then so be it. I'm not going to work with him. We're going to work with
Well,
other congressmen and other
don't you think it'd
representatives.
be
Okay. To get
tough
the job
to
done.
pass your agenda as president if you don't want to work with the speaker?
If we need to get a new speaker, then so be it. If he's not going to work with me or with us, if his house is agreeing to something that I'm agreeing, sorry, not his house, if the house, okay, and I agree to a bill and he's blocking it, or by doing some petty political maneuvering, then we need a new speaker, okay? I have zero tolerance for for nasty tactics. Okay, I don't have it. That kind of role playing, that kind of House of Cards mentality, ruins the community. It ruins activity. It kills the competition. And if you want healthy competition, which is active and is growing, then we can't be bogged down by petty politics. So if he doesn't want to govern or at least work with my White House and is going to shoot down everything and so be it. I will
Mm,
like I said, I don't respect
okay.
him at all. So I would gladly call to vacate the speakership. Most certainly, most certainly. If he wants to work with, if he wants to work that way at least.
Okay. I believe my co-host has another question for you here.
All right. Yeah, I have another question. I think this one would be a more personal one regarding political parties. So if you're okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we know that you tried to obtain the presidential nomination for the Forward Party, something you were unable to achieve. What are your next plans with the party? Are you going to
Well,
dissociate completely, or if you lose this race, do you plan to return to the party?
see, so we don't plan on losing at all. Okay, that's the hope. We're
Oh,
gonna keep playing every day. Okay, um, it's quite funny, honestly. I have to say, in a 27 vote Discord poll, which I lost by 3 votes. It was 12 to 15. Um, that hasn't. I mean, it's just funny for me, I guess, because a lot of those people who are active in the party, they still support me. They don't support trade, not at all. They don't care for the primary. No, 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 no. They still support me, but also, and I have to note, a lot of my voters are independent. Okay, I last election back in March, I ran as an independent. I only became a nominee for a party because I beat the incumbent president. Okay, um, but this election, if they don't want me as the nominee, that is their choice. I
So to
lost
be
the 27 vote by I lost a 27 vote Discord poll by 3 votes. I'm not pressed about it.
okay.
My campaign's not pressed about it. We
All
don't
right.
see this as a downfall of anything.
So
We
so
still have our
do you plan
supporters,
to
and,
work
they still
with the
support.
Forward Party?
I'm sorry.
Do you plan to work with the Forward Party?
You said, will I work with the Forward Party if elected?
if you wouldn't mind to work with the Forward Party if you
Would
won
you?
the
Yes. Would
presidency.
you?
Um, I will work with them just how I work with the pioneers. I will work with both parties. Mostly, I will be bipartisan. As an independent president, I will be bipartisan. I will work with both parties. As I said before, if the House and I can come to an agreement, let's get it passed. I'm done bittering and talking nasty politics. It's just a waste of time. It's a it's a real waste of time. Okay, um,
Okay.
it's not something I'm interested in doing. Uh,
Well,
but I
well then
will
I think
work with the Forward Party just like I will work with the Pioneer Party.
okay.
Thank
So
you.
that just it makes me wonder. I mean, despite campaigning as you did, why couldn't you secure your party's nomination?
I uh, I think I kind of touched on this before, but as I said, a lot of my supporters and voters, they're independent. They're not partisan. That's what makes me such a unique challenge to T-Soups. She can't garner the news articles have been killing me, okay, this past week, okay? They've been killing me, okay? My supporters don't care about that. They know that it's just propaganda. They're not dumb. But they vote, okay? They show up and vote. So if folks want to underestimate the silent majority, go ahead. Go ahead. You're gonna see on election day just how loud we are.
So
So like I
okay.
said, it was a 27 vote Discord poll. When I pressed about it, we lost by 3 votes. You know what I mean? Like people could have just switched last minute. You know?
So you think you still could have won the nomination for president in the Forward Party?
I'm sorry.
You still do you think you still could have won the Forward Party's nomination had you done something differently?
I mean, that's such okay. Now that's a vague question.
Well,
Obviously
I
the
mean, it's
answer is yes. Obviously
okay.
the answer is yes. Anything could have been done differently, and the outcome could have just been different. I'm not understanding what you mean by that.
Well, do you, as a Forward Party member, do you support Trey Nato for president as he's the nominee?
That's a silly question.
Is it? I understand you're
Um,
independent, but you're
oh, no, also, I'm also independent. Like I said, if my party doesn't want me as a nominee, why should I represent them? If they don't want me, then okay, that's fine.
okay.
You can have trade NATO. That's the party's choice. You
Well,
know,
how do you
if they
feel
now if they
about
want to win, you gotta talk to the leadership now. If they really want to defeat T suits, you gotta talk to the leadership now because it doesn't seem like they want to.
How do you feel about being a third party candidate? Do you still think your chances of winning the White House are feasible? Do you think you can still make it in there being a third
Oh,
party candidate?
absolutely. We're very confident. Like I said, we're a unique candidate, campaign. We don't, T Soups. Her supporters are her employees. She hires them. These are folks that work multiple jobs in the administration. I'm not too pressed about, I already know who they support essentially. And my voters are
Okay.
independent. They're the average, news player who joins DC, does a little trolling, and then leaves. But they're independent voters, and we have them secured and locked down. They also don't like T suits. Okay, I mean that's also just a block of voters that you just can't deny it doesn't
Okay.
exist. There are folks that just don't like T suits, and
So you're
that's how
aiming
that's why
for
it's so voted.
those undecided voters.
Well, I don't think there's very. I think there's very very I think there is very, very few undecided voters at this stage in the election.
Okay.
Um,
And
I do think that just because, like I said, personally, me and my campaign, we've noticed the community news have been glazing us, has been, I'm sorry, not glazing, wrong word, I just saw that in the chat, has been hammering us this past
mm,
week. Okay. And yeah, we see some member loss in our servers, but folks are just tired of being pinged. I'm not gonna lie,
okay.
folks leave a server when they're pinged.
So
We have a lot of confidence about this election.
I do wanna about your server that you've been banned. You called being in your campaign server a privilege. Do you stand by that? Do you still think that in this democracy that it's a privilege to be in someone's campaign server?
If you're not, listen, if you're on the fence or if you support my campaign, absolutely, absolutely, be in our server. But these two individuals specifically, and I was saying this earlier, these two and
Hmm.
specifically, uh, no, they don't have no right. They come to my server, and we have receipts about this. We have chat logs about this too. Okay, they come to my server, and we're trying to engage in a question, and then all of a sudden they just go and troll. They just troll for hours, and it's
So
annoying.
you're
It's
banning
like
the trolls from your server.
I also don't ban. So I haven't banned a single person. You can check the auto
You
logs in that.
you
Okay,
haven't
I
banned a
haven't
single
banned a single
person
person.
from your server.
I don't, not that I recall, and I say not that I can recall right now.
Okay.
And I also haven't, but I know
What?
especially I haven't banned those two. I haven't banned those two at all. What I've done
The
is
White
unroll
House
them.
press secretary has been banned from your
Yeah, the White
server.
House.
Okay, so you
If
have
she's
banned
banned from my
people
server,
from your server.
if she's banned from my server, which I can check right now for you actually.
Well, I mean,
Let's just see.
I'm
No, no,
asking
wait,
because you
wait. I want to.
said that you haven't, and you have banned people from your
I
server, but
no,
you
no,
just
no.
said you
I
didn't.
told you
So
I told you that I haven't banned nobody from my server. Okay, I haven't. I don't. No, I
oh,
don't. I'm,
you
I'm
you
checking now.
haven't, like personally, you haven't banned anyone from your server.
No. Oh yeah, no, no. They're banned. Yeah, Iggy's the Fool is banned, most certainly. It was done by a staff member. Um, yeah, it was done by a staff
Oh, and
member.
we have breaking news from
Did they
Washington
censor me?
D.C. The House of Representatives has officially censured ApolloKorman here. What do you think about this?
Oh wait, what?
ApolloKorman has been censured by the House of Representatives and must appear before the House of Representatives in regards to importing votes. Again, what are your thoughts on this? They voted to censure you. How do you feel? How do you feel right now?
I mean, I like to see the proof. Do you have proof? So I'm asking you a genuine question. Does the media or does folks have proof about me doing anything about importing votes?
I'm not going
Or
to comment on that at this time, but what I'm saying is, uh,
so
sorry
next
about that. Yes.
question, or like
So what I'm saying is,
I'm not going to respond to rumors. It's just
you're not. Well, I
there's no
mean, it's
evidence.
not a
There's no
rumor. You are being censored by the House of
Okay,
No,
Representatives,
no, no,
and
no, 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 no. That is
you're
true. I'm
commanded to
talking about
give
importing a vote is what I'm asking for. The importing of
okay.
votes.
Well,
Okay, so
Uh,
supposedly be
sorry,
commanded to
Apollo,
appear before
so you
the
guys
house.
know.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
It says here that ApolloKorman, you have to come before
I
the
hear
House
that.
chamber.
Wow, this is gonna be.
You need and the American Times will provide live coverage of the
Are
censure
they?
of
Wait, I'm sorry. Are they going
ApolloKorman.
to impeach me? Like, are they going to impeach me?
No, sir, it's a censure. So
No, no, I know it's a joke. I know what a censure is. I'm saying,
okay,
but like,
yeah, all right, okay.
what I'm asking is, what's the punishment?
I if you're
I
uh
think you'll be
I'll see you all
disqualified.
then. Okay.
okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, well, y'all heard it first here.
So
Corman's being
this was
censured by the House. Um, so,
kind of crazy, what happened,
yep,
but
we will go
I
over to the
think
House
we'll
of Representatives and
continue this interview tomorrow.
right and cover this live. Thank you all.
Okay.
Alrighty, here we'll be right back with live coverage from the censuring of the House. Alrighty, as we come back here, um, trying to get in game here, but we will turn over to the House stage right now where ApolloKorman is being censured. Um, give me one moment. Okay. So we're getting a game here to cover this live in Washington, D.C., in the House chambers, where ApolloKorman, the presidential nominee as an independent, is
On
being
this vote,
censured.
oh wait.
Here we go.
Well, on this vote, the ayes are 2, the nays are 3. 1 is voting present. The resolution is not adopted. The motion to reconsider is considered laid upon the table. The final matter of business before this House is the pronouncement of censure of the Honorable ApolloKorman.
So ApolloKorman's being censured right now.
15. Mr. Corwin will forthwith present himself in the well of the House. Capitol Police, please escort him to the well. Okay. You've got the resolution. The gentleman will suspend.
Looks like we're having some issues here.
Okay.
Okay.
Pursuant to the House's adoption of HRES 15, the Speaker will now pronounce censure with the public reading of the resolution. HRES 15. Arthur Chen of the Commonwealth of Virginia submitted the following resolution censuring ApolloKorman for illegally importing votes. A resolution censuring ApolloKorman. Whereas on October 11th, 2024, the Federal Election Commission received a complaint designated as Complaint 0306 alleging inappropriate actions and behaviors by the ApolloKorman campaign regarding manipulation of voter behavior in separate communication servers on Discord. Whereas the Federal Election Commission conducted a thorough investigation, reviewing evidence and the relevant Discord servers on October 13th, 2024, which led to significant findings concerning campaign staff conduct. Whereas the investigation revealed that Gino Liridetti Sr., Discord ID 6532-6575-1208-75551, a campaign staffer and leader within the ApolloKorman presidential campaign, engaged in coercive practices.
There is ApolloKorman right there.
In other communities, including Aloreza di Seculerno and Molano clan, to influence voter decisions. Whereas the Federal Election Commission determined that on October 11th, 2024, at 4:52 p.m. CST, Girano Licaditi Sr. announced in the Allegheny di Segaladino community, quote, "We're starting political operations in NUSA to support both ApolloKorman and Filippo Castellano, compelling community members to participate by stating, quote, at everyone, I'm campaign staff in this, so you gotta join and help out," close quote. Whereas Giordano Lurgiani Sr. further urged participation by posting on October 13th, 2024, quote, at everyone, group link, join and vote Filippo Cagliostro for senator. If you're already a citizen, join game, DC link, and vote him for senator, close quote. Whereas additional announcements made by...
Once again, the House is in the process of censuring ApolloKorman for importing votes for President of the United States.
Encouraged members to join the campaign by saying, quote, join group link, ApolloKorman campaign link at everyone. I want to see you guys joining, close quote. Whereas these actions are in direct violation of Article 10 of the active election regulations, and they constitute a coercion of individuals in other communities to vote in a specific manner. Whereas the Federal Election Commission...
Oh, can we hurry this up?
Formal warning, the gentleman will suspend, or I will restart the reading of the resolution. The Federal Election Commission has introduced a formal warning of the ApolloKorman campaign, whereas the Federal Election Commission has introduced highlighting the importance of the adherence to regulations and the responsibility of campaigns for the conduct of their staff. Resolved by the United States House of Representatives on this day, November 2nd, 2024, the year of our Lord and in our independence 248, that ApolloKorman be censured, that ApolloKorman forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and ApolloKorman be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The Capitol Police will escort Mr. Korman back to the gallery. With that, the agenda is exhausted. Is there a motion?
Okay, so basically, looks like
I
the
can't
House is.
see if you're putting podiums on my head. Okay. Motion is seconded. Without objection, the House stands adjourned, sine die. Without objection, the 100th Congress of the United States House of Representatives is further adjourned.
Okay, so what just happened there, a little recap. ApolloKorman, it's censured, so more of a formality in the House. So it looks like that this House session is ending right now. Okay, so we'll be right back with more live coverage. All right, we'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, and we're right back. The Speaker of the House, Arthur Chen, is to hold a press conference in the rotunda, most likely regarding the presidential election.
With our press conference, let me just change the title of this stage. Can you okay. Stop putting podiums on my head, and can you SCP clear out this area? Okay.
And it looks like we do have some shooting.
We're just going to host this in Discord, since clearly there's been an issue with people putting podiums on my head and lifting me through the floor. Tonight, the House of Representatives met and convened a very productive session in which we passed several pieces of legislation and moved forward with establishing that this House will not tolerate interference of foreign governments in our presidential election. The House, in a decisive vote, resolved to censure ApolloKorman and his actions of importing votes illegally from other communities and using his campaign staff to do the same. The House of Representatives stands strong in its commitment to democracy and ensuring that all citizens have an equal chance, an equal outcome in this election, and that our candidates are acting fairly. The House will not tolerate further action and I will be working with Oversight and Accountability Chairman Prince Amar to fully investigate the allegations and ensure that justice is brought to the actors who committed these illegal acts. Tonight, the House, in a one-vote margin, rejected a resolution that would have censured House Minority Leader Sheev Palpatine for calling the Speaker a member of the Third Reich and the President of the United States a communist dictator. The House rules state that members shall not engage in personalities, which means that House members are not allowed to call people names or to state that they are being immoral or unethical without backing or proof, and are especially not allowed to refer to fascist and communist regimes and members of the government as being involved in them. So I will be directing the Ethics Committee to conduct further investigation into Mr. Palpatine for his remarks, as well as his quorum-breaking stunt meant to oops, I muted myself, Ashton. Meant to obstruct the further proceedings of this House. Additionally, the House tonight expelled Lucky Vinnick, a representative from the state of Missouri, for bribing a federal judge. Mr. Vinnick was held in contempt of court by former district court judge Octavia Roe-Boxberg and stated in her DMs that he would impeach her as a member of this body if she did not drop the contempt charges on him. This is disgusting behavior, and I am glad tonight to say that the House has finally voted to remove a corrupt member from the House. Under my speakership, we have passed. This is going to be the 12th piece.
Well, I mean, you heard it here first. ApolloKorman, censured by the House of Representatives. Representative Lucky Vinnick, expelled by the House. And
Entire 2-month term. So that should say about the direction of the House we're going in. We have some great committees that we formed. We have the Judiciary Committee. We have the Homeland Security Committee. We have the Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee. We've got the Oversight and Accountability Committee. We've got the Intelligence and Ethics Committee. We're doing really well in ensuring that our members have a voice not only on the floor of the House, but also in the committee room to mark up and debate legislation. I am disgusted by my predecessor's return to the House floor. He, former member.
okay, so, well, I mean, this has been one session, I must say. Well, and he continues talking, okay.
Thank you, everyone, for attending the House session tonight. Does any members of the public like to ask questions? I just put on the request to speak. So if you'd like to ask a question, please feel free to raise your hand.
Okay, so that about concludes the press conference with the Speaker. Okay, so we will continue live coverage here on the American Times. Right after this, we will be right back. Okay, so, all right, so that concludes. Well, I mean, we got interrupted mid-interview after the House censured ApolloKorman, our interviewee. We'll be right back with more live coverage on our nightly broadcast. Thank you and have a good night.